Hey, welcome to my channel where we talk about life, business, love, relationships, and awakening. This channel is a space where we explore consciousness, awareness, the law of attraction, understanding energy, quantum reality, and the laws of the universe. So, my mission is to inspire millions of people all over the world and to support the collective through this mass awakening. Now, if any of this resonates with you, please show your support by liking my videos, subscribing to my channel, commenting below, because when you comment, like, and engage, it ups the algorithm and it really helps to boost this content and get it out to more people. And of course, if this content resonates with you, please share this content with people you know or people who need to hear the message. Before I kind of get started with explaining why I am creating a welcome video, which is going to bring some insight to everyone on my awakening and my experiences, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below if there are any questions you have about awakening or massive life changes, any transitions that you're going through that could relate to love, transitions with love, relationship issues. I also can answer questions and talk about twin flame journeys, one that I am quite specialized in. And more importantly, how to live your purpose or gain clarity on your mission. So today I'd really like to introduce myself and tell you a bit about my journey and my awakening. And I'd love to tell you where this has all led me in my life and how I found the inspiration to really live into my purpose. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lyndsay King. And I am the founder of a process. I created a process called the Accelerate Your Life process, which is a 24-step process to support people on their journey to awakening consciousness, awareness, and living into their mission and their life purpose. I run a school called Lyndsay School and a program called the Accelerate Your Life Mentoring Program. But enough about that. The reason why I'm sitting up here today and I'm on camera, I've got my new mic here, my little Yeti, is because I had a vision 3-4 years ago that I would be launching a YouTube channel talking to the masses about awakening. And when I first started to have that vision, I thought I was going crazy. I actually felt like I was living in the matrix at times because I myself was going through a massive awakening, one of the biggest awakenings I have gone through in my life to date. And I can take you back to a time when I had no idea what awakening was about, when I was just a kid and I went through my first awakening. Now, just to give you a little bit of background on me, I have always been a student and a fan of philosophy, religion, spirituality, psychic powers, clairvoyancy, and I've been fascinated with the metaphysical world and with quantum physics since I was a child, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old. I was always an avid reader and I always felt different. I always felt disconnected. I always felt like there was something more, there was something bigger. I couldn't understand why there were so many kind of little petty things going on around me in my life. And because of that, I actually had quite a bumpy childhood and a pretty rough adolescence where I was determined to follow my heart, to do what I wanted to do. I didn't listen to anyone. I would have been considered a rebel, or maybe a rebel without a cause, or I had too much of a cause, which was my freedom. I desired freedom. And because of that, I had loads of different experiences that took me on many different dimensions in my journey. And this leads me to my first awakening in my life, which is when I was 17 years old. I was a bit what you would call wild and out of control. I had just gotten my driver's license and I had a car accident in the middle of the night one November day. And in that car accident, I shattered my ankle, got pretty banged up, and I was bedridden for the next 4 months in a wheelchair. And I was on home instruction my senior year of high school for 8 months. Now, what was interesting about this time is that it could easily be perceived as one of the worst times in my life. But in fact, I realized during that recovery that this was one of the greatest gifts I ever could have received. The gift of silence, the gift of quiet, the gift of this accident forcing me to slow down. Without that car accident, I believe that my life would have taken me on a journey of destruction, which is the journey that I was on at the time. And I became very grateful. Grateful for my healing, grateful for my realizations, grateful for my experiences. But I also became a bit worried about my future and whether or not I would be able to live into the future that I deeply felt I desired and wanted and believed I was meant to have. And in my recovery, I started to reflect and make agreements, and I started to ask and make deals with who knows, the universe, God, my higher power, the unseen forces. And I started to convince the unseen forces that if they would just give me one more chance to get my shit together, to get my life together, that I would do it and that I would be grateful and I would live my life to the fullest and I would promise to stay on my path and mission and to do good in the world. And I was also practicing visualizing my healing, visualizing my ankles fusing back together. I was praying and begging, please let me walk again, and giving gratitude for this opportunity to change my life. And I was just a kid, right? I was 17. But lo and behold, when I did see the doctor again, he said, oh, it's a miracle. We can't believe you have healed. And I knew every single day for the past 25 years, as I walk around on my wobbly ankle, as if there is nothing wrong with it, that I was being given another chance. And every time my ankle ached or hurt, I always was reminded to stay on my path. And that for me was my first awakening in my life on my journey. Again, probably about 8 years ago, when I was in a relationship, which on the outside was amazing, and it was an amazing relationship. I'm still very good friends with my ex-partner these days. I started to feel like I was deeply out of alignment. I had everything I could ever want, anything I could ask for, and I just wasn't okay. I wasn't happy. And I realized that I was growing and I needed to grow more. So when we discussed and decided to end that relationship, someone said to me, Lyndsay King, you need to be free to become the person that you're meant to become. And this is why your life is changing, because you're growing and you're evolving and there is more for you. And that really stayed with me. Many times I ask myself, why did I leave that relationship? What was the point? Did I ruin my life? Have I made a huge mistake? What is the purpose? But it was because I was meant to continue living into my truth, into my calling, and into my mission. I started to socialize with people who were more in alignment with who I was, entrepreneurs, creative people who were owning businesses, building businesses. And that's what I wanted to do. I needed to flex my muscles and spread my wings and fly more than materialism could offer me. And lo and behold, a few years later, end of 2017, I started to go through another phase of awakening, where I looked around at this company I had built with my business partner. And I loved the company. I loved my team. I loved everything that I had put together. But I knew that there was something missing. And again, I had someone say to me, Lyndsay King, are you in the game or are you standing on the sidelines? And hearing that was like being punched in the stomach, because I knew that I wasn't actually in the game. I was standing on the sidelines of my own life. On paper, it looked like I was in the game. Everything was cool. It was all together. But behind the scenes, I was neglecting myself, my life, and everything that I needed in order to become the person I was meant to become. I wasn't working on my dream, although this was a critical element to my dream. And I decided to leave the business. Once again, it left me floundering, not knowing where to go, not knowing what was next, but I knew I was following my heart. And I'm not going to get into the intensive, incredible journey I've been on these past few years since the beginning of 2018. But that year, the start of 2018, triggered the most incredible, massive awakening I could have ever even imagined. And it continues. And the reason why I am so passionate about what I'm doing right now and why I'm launching this YouTube channel, I'm calling it Awakening with Lyndsay King, is because one of the things that I have committed to in my life is supporting people on their journey to consciousness, awareness, to understanding how to live in the fifth dimension, how to step out of 3D reality and to tap into your infinite possibilities, how to understand awakening and why it's so painful, how to look at the dark night of the soul and move through it with grace and ease. There are so many people who start to experience awakening and they actually think they're going crazy, because when we fight and deny our awakening, which is part of the human condition, we are designed to recognize our truth, to recognize our life purpose. And when we deny it, we become depressed, riddled with fear, anxiety, sadness, frustration, rage, anger. And when we start to learn the skills and the understanding of how to interpret this incredible, infinite universe that we live in, the awakening becomes a beautiful part of life. And I am committed to showing up and supporting by providing information on this topic, sharing about my own life, my own journey. Any questions that you have, anything you'd like me to make a video on or answer or talk about for you. I'll also be hosting guests on my channel every now and again. So just text me, send me an email or reach out in the comments if you're interested in that and I can email you back. We can set something up. We're going to talk about awakening here. We're going to talk about consciousness. We're going to talk about 5D. We're going to talk about the collective awakening in the global collective right now, the rise in collective consciousness that is happening on planet Earth at this very moment. This is all part of our perfect design. You see, many of us have started to go through these changes in 2017, 2018, 2019 in preparation to support the awakening on planet Earth in this universe and atmosphere that we live in. You are being called forward. You're being called forth to be a part of history. And I hope that we can join together in this beautiful feminine energy that is washing over the planet to balance out all of the harshness, the criticism, the patriarchy that has ruled for thousands of years. I hope that we can join together to support one another as a collective as we make history. Now, the pandemic was designed as a way to trigger millions and millions of people into their truth, into their consciousness, and into their awareness, to help people rise in understanding what this life is all about and how magnificent it can actually be, and how much our mind and our conditioning is standing in our way of living into our truth, our purpose, our fulfillment, our joy, groundedness, and happiness. So if any of this resonates with you, please send me a message, drop me a comment, let me know, because I will be bringing more and more information on this topic in the weeks and months, and I expect years going forward. Now, my most recent awakening was the most incredible experience I have ever been through in my life. But I have to say, it was one of the most difficult. And it is so important to find support through channels like this one and multiple channels. I have loads of recommendations I can make, but it is important to connect with your tribe and like-minded people who understand what you're going through and can support you in understanding what you are experiencing. You're special, you're chosen, you are a part of this awakening, and it's happening whether we like it or not. We just need to learn how to embrace it. So on that note, I am going to wrap up this video. I hope that helps you get to know me a little bit better as a welcome video and a bit on my awakening and my experience with awakening in my life. If you have any questions, shout them out in the comments below. And of course, as always, matters of business, please like, subscribe, and share this video if it resonates with you. And I just want to wish you a happy, healthy, loving day and afternoon whenever you find this video. It might be at the very beginning. It may be knee deep into this YouTube channel or in years to come. But just trust that whenever you do find this content, it is meant for you. It is meant for you. And there are people out there who can support the understanding of this intensive, incredible human and spiritual journey that all of us are on. Thank you so much, and I will see you on my next video.